You know, it's so interesting watching the interviews with Paul Ryan and Paul Manafort. I've known Paul Ryan for 20 years. I like him very much, and it was painful to watch, I've got to say. I mean, the people who are now rationalizing supporting Donald Trump when they are proud to be representatives of the party of Lincoln, a protege of Jack Kemp, it's going to be a horrible 4 or 5 months for the Republican Party. People do not understand how much damage, from my point of view, Donald Trump will do.
I am the least, just so you know, I am the least racist person. The least racist person that you've ever seen. The least. I mean, give me a break.
You said in explaining why you're standing by your endorsement of Mr. Trump that what matters more to you more than anything are our core principles. But what core principle is more important to the party of Lincoln than standing up against racism?
That's why I did that. That's why I spoke out against it.
Yeah.
Look, this is the party of Lincoln, the party of Jack Kemp and Ronald Reagan. So that is why we stand up and speak against any conversation, any kind of comment that has any racist tinge whatsoever.
But this isn't the first time you've had to do that. When he does it disavow the KKK, you had to speak out against that.
That isn't the first time I've had to do that, and it won't be the last time if this continues. Hopefully this won't continue. Hopefully the campaign will move in a better direction so that it can be one that we can all be proud of. We got two choices: Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. A Republican presidency, a Democrat presidency. Hillary Clinton is promising to double down on the Obama policies. Those policies are wrong. They're not helping. Our country's going in the wrong direction. So we're offering the country an alternative. And we need a Republican president to work with to put that alternative together.
But does that president have the temperament it takes to be commander-in-chief?
I can't speak for his stage presence, but in private, I find his temperament to be much better than what you see on stage.
So you're confident he could be an effective commander-in-chief?
Look, I believe that he's certainly better than Hillary Clinton. These are the choices that we have. And here's the question I ask. Do I believe that these principles and these policies that flow from those principles have a better chance of making the law with Donald Trump than Hillary Clinton? Absolutely, I do believe that. And I think that's what's necessary to save this country from the bad path that it's on right now.
Even if that president then espouses values that you don't share?
I don't believe in those values. I don't know that he believes that in his heart. I don't know what's in his heart. But I do think, hope, and believe that he's going to improve the tenor of the campaign, the tone of the campaign, the kind of campaign that he's going to run.
You said you hope he can change. If he doesn't, will you still continue to stand by him?
Well, I'm not going to speak about what's happening in the future, but I believe and hope that he's going to change and improve his campaign. We'll see.
You're talking about national security today in your program For a Better Way. 67 different proposals there, one of them having to do with immigration, protecting our borders. No mention of that wall paid for by Mexico. Do you think that's a realistic proposal?
I think securing the border is a realistic proposal. We can debate about how best to secure our border. Things are necessary.
Mexico paying for it?
Well, I never supported that. That and the mass deportation is something I also spoke out against. Look, we're not going to agree with our nominee on everything. Mitt Romney and I didn't agree on everything, and I ran on the ticket with him. So it's a little much to ask that everybody agrees on everything.
Not everything,
we don't agree on everything.
He talks about having Mexico pay for the wall in every speech. He talks about the temporary ban on Muslims in every speech. In your 67 proposals, no mention of that ban. He talks.
Let me say why, because I don't agree. We don't agree with that ban.
If you look at the big issues he talks about in every single speech, those are all things that you've come out against. How can you say that the things you agree on outweigh the things you disagree on?
Well, because the kinds of conversations that I've had with him are about what our agenda is going to look like, where we want to go as a country and as a party, what our principles are. He agrees with our need to get people out of poverty and move people from welfare to work. We all agree on replacing Obamacare with patient-centered health care. We all agree with comprehensive tax reform to grow the economy. We agree we need to strengthen our military. We agree we need a better foreign policy. And on the big issues and the big questions of the day, we see common ground.
But it seems like you guys are on parallel but not touching paths. You're talking about one set of policies. He's talking about another on the stump.
That's his right.
But that's not what then you're not giving the American people the choice.
Oh, I don't think that's necessarily the
You're
case.
rejecting the choice he's offering.
We are just in the midst of rolling out an agenda that we're going to take to the people. We in the House are saying, here are the laws we want to pass in fulfillment of these principles to improve people's lives, to fix our government and our country's problems. That requires a president to sign them into law. So we believe that we can add substance to this conversation.
Doesn't it also require a president to campaign on them?
It requires a president to be supportive of these things. The things that I've learned since doing my job is that you need to be upfront with people ahead of the election about where you want to go so that if you win that election, you have the ability to go there. That, to me, is the kind of election that I've always wanted to have.
But you're being upfront with one set of proposals. He's being upfront with another.
Well, I wouldn't say that he's dismissing these things. He's far from it. He's agreeing with these principles.
And if he becomes president, you wrote about the man you ran with, Mitt Romney, that he was one of the more honorable, principled, fiercely intelligent, would be one of our finest presidents. How would you describe Donald Trump?
Let's wait and see.
Mr. Speaker, thanks very much.
You bet. Thanks.
You know, it's so interesting watching the interviews with Paul Ryan and Paul Manafort. I've known Paul Ryan for 20 years. I like him very much, and it was painful to watch, I've got to say. I mean, the people who are now rationalizing supporting Donald Trump when they are proud to be representatives of the party of Lincoln, a protege of Jack Kemp, it's going to be a horrible 4 or 5 months for the Republican Party. People do not understand how much damage, from my point of view, Donald Trump will do.